Hello. It's Whiskey Wednesday. It's been a busy day. How about you? I released the Back Porch collection, the June Back Porch collection today. It's kind of fun. So we're going to use a piece of paper out of that because it's my favorite. It's right here. It's so good. Made on Maple Lane, Stephanie. Hello. Welcome, welcome. We're going to do just some mixed media tonight. My screen is really dark. Must have went into nighttime mode. Am I looking dark? You not found me yet? No. Looks like it went to nighttime. Oh, now it's getting brighter. Let me see. I don't know. It's after midnight in London, but I'm here. Marla, get some sleep. Go get some sleep, Marla. You're sick. Well, we're turning your Wi-Fi off because I can't find me yet. Looks like other people are finding me. I'm not finding myself. Hang on. Gotta find me for Wilson. First, I gotta find his settings. Oh, there they are. You know when you're used to your own phone and don't know where anything is on somebody else's? Woo! All right. So let's try and find me again. It says I'm live. There I am. There I am looking at a phone. All right, so let's see who's out here. It's Marla, who's in here from London, but she's not feeling well. And Michelle says DIY Whiskey Wednesday. Yes, it is Michelle DIY. And Dee says, hi, everyone. Hello, everyone, Dee. Gwen, hello, you too. Happy Wednesday. Be you too, Wilson.
Hello.
Marla says, or Stephanie says, I love a good DIY. Exactly. And Luann says, happy DIY Whiskey Wednesday. Same to you, Luann, DIY. We're going to be using that paint tonight. And Marla said, I've been sleeping most of the last 2 days. Oh, wow. Well, I hope you get over it. Natalie says, I found you. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Hi, Connie. Hi, Natalie. I'm glad you found me. Deborah says, happy Wednesday. April from Booth 17 says, hello, hello. Natalie says, I'm sorry you aren't feeling well, Marla. I know, she's just not feeling well. And Cordelia, I like that name. Cordelia says, hey, with a wave sign. Johnny says, ready for an awesome DIY. Okay, let's hopefully I got you something that is fun. April says, DIY wine on Wednesday for me. DIY whiskey for me, April. And Luann says, excited, placed my back porch order earlier. Excellent, Luann. It's like, this is one of my favorite papers in there. So we're going to use it tonight. And I'm going to use it on a board that's not big enough. So we're going to try and do something else with it. So Marla says, thanks, Natalie. I'm hoping to go to Buckingham Palace and thrifting tomorrow. Well, then you better get better. And Bumblebee Corner says, happy DIY, happy DIY. So, all right. So I'm going to turn my other camera on and so you can see what I'm going to do tonight. Here's my paper. So let's turn that down so you get a little bit better color of what it is. And so this is one of the papers that's in the June Back Porch collection. And I created the background. I painted the background. And then I put all these digital images on top of the background and made like a digital master board. And now we're going to make a bigger master board out of this paper. We're going to continue to add on to this master board. It is actually a board. I painted it in white linen. No, vintage linen, I believe it was. So I painted it in vintage linen. And we're going to cut this paper and then we're going to add on to it and we're going to make it look like a larger master board. So if you have a bigger board or a bigger project and you want to put a piece of paper on it, I'm going to kind of show you about how it works. So the first thing that I need to do is I need to cut this white edge off of here. But if I cut it with the scissors, then that's going to be really like your eye is going to go to that straight line. So we're going to do a wet cut. And we're going to cut this. I have to grab a paintbrush. Oh, I put some over here just for that. And then I go and forget. So I have a smaller paintbrush and I'm going to grab some water here. And I'm just squirting it on my plastic here. And then I'm going to make this edge, and this is rice paper, so it's a little bit thicker than regular tissue paper. So we're going to go in and we're going to make it sporadic. And once it soaks up, then you can start to tear it. And I don't want to tear it in a straight line. I want to tear it more unevenly so you can't really, your eyeball can't see where this is all going. And you can see when your water gets on here, it like spreads. It really goes bonkers on here. So if you want to keep that smaller, once you put it on there, then start to tear right away. Don't do a little bit. We're going to go right around this bird, and then we're going to tear him using that finer line. And there's more ink right here, so it's taken a little bit more to tear that. And now I'm going to go out a little bit. Oh, nice. I got a cash register. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This paper is in the Back Porch collection. And see how that's not a straight line? It's more sporadic, but I also didn't cut off. Let me get you a little closer. I didn't cut off these birds right here because I'm kind of a bird fanatic. And then this paper goes all the way to both edges, so I don't have to worry about that. So now we're going to cut the other side. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to fussy cut, but we're going to go and not a straight line. So I'm going to go right around that clock. And then unfortunately, I'm going to cut some of this scrolly work off here, but that's okay. I gotta get a little bit more irregular so it's not going straight. Wilson's back. He had a visitor.
Elaine says hello. Diane Wilson. Hello, Elaine.
Oh, Elaine's on here.
Lori
Sweet.
Henderson. Happy DIY.
Excellent. Happy DIY.
Caught up.
All right. So now I'm going to pick you up just a little bit so you can see the whole thing. So now it's not straight. So we're going to try and fill this in with some blue paint and some red paint over here. So this one is blue iris and this one is carnival red. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to liquid patina this.
Sheila says, hi, guys. Hi, Sheila.
Hey, Sheila. Hang on, guys. I got to smack this. My liquid patina this time has been a beast. I got it all gunky around the edges, and then it's a beast to get the lid off. Well, that's, Elaine, you have to make, if you use a smaller brush, and see how small this is? Use a smaller brush, and if you just go a small little line and then tear it right away. So you can just get wet this much and then tear it right away, and then wet this much and tear it, instead of doing this entire side and then ripping it. Because once you do this entire side, two things could happen. This could already be too dry and it's not going to rip where you want it to. Second, it's going to absorb into the paper. So if you wanted the line to be here, by the time you rip it, it could be way over here because it absorbed into the paper. So a little bit at a time. And now remember, we don't have to worry about that top and bottom line because we're going to sand that off. And got to make sure that it gets sanded off so I don't worry about it. Yep. And that I'm straight. So the first thing I want to do is mist my paper so that I open up those fibers. I get it nice and misted, and you can see that it starts to wrinkle up because those fibers are opening up. So then I'm going to flip it back like this, and then I'm going to take the liquid patina, and this is DIY paint, so it's really sucking up the liquid patina. So I like to put some down there. And then I like to go back over the top of it again to make sure that there's enough on there to seal that paper down. And rice paper needs a little bit more liquid patina than decoupage paper, than regular decoupage tissue paper. It's a little bit thicker. You're welcome. Okay, so now we're going to flip that up. And we're going to go with the liquid patina on this side of the board. And again, I'm not working too fast. What I'm doing is I'm putting that first layer down to let it absorb into the paint. And then I'm going to tell you what you don't want to do. I got a big goober in my lid. I'm going to tell you what you don't want to do. So when you have a big glob of liquid patina on your brush, you do not want to start right here by your paper. Because if you start right here by your paper edge, you're going to see it when you peel that paper down. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down here, and then when we have very little on our brush, then we're going to finish up that edge there. And we're going to make sure that we have plenty on our board, and then flip this back. And seal that down. And if I would have put that great big old glob right there, you'd have a line right here, like a dark water line. Trust me, it's happened to me many times, and it's not pretty, and you can't get rid of it.
Sandy says hi, Connie and Wilson. Happy DIY.
Hey, Sandy.
Hi, Sandy.
Happy DIY. I'll have a DIY in a minute here, guys. All right, we sealed that all in. And now we're going to add to those edges. And we're going to do some painting, and we're going to do some scribbling. It's going to be so fun. Trust me, it's going to be fun. Oh, we had a couple DIYs, so DIY. All right, where was I? I think I was here. Carolyn says, love that paper. Thank you, Carolyn. It's so pretty. I'm pretty proud of that paper. I love it. Sylvia, try DIY. She's got DIY in her name. Sylvia. And Deborah says, I absolutely love all the rice papers. You are so talented. Thank you, Deborah. You're so sweet. And Wilson read the one from Elaine and Lori. Tony says, happy Whiskey Wednesday. Happy Whiskey Wednesday to you. Elaine asked a couple questions, afraid of ripping off too much. I did show you how to make sure you don't do that. Sandy says, hi, Connie and Wilson. I think Wilson read that one. Luann says, good tip. Excellent, Luann. And Diana says, caught alive. Yes, you did, Diana. And Sheila says, I hope I have that paper. Sheila, you have to order the Back Porch collection. So here is the Back Porch collection. And this is June's. And June has all of these. I'm going to get it stuck on there. June has all of these goodies in it. I was really sweet this time, and I put a little tissue banding on it with a little sticker on it. But there's this whole thing. We'll peel that off just so you guys can see inside here. This is my demo one. So there's the thank you card. There's a little receipt card here, 2 tags with their little strings. This is an IOD, the transfer backing. And I just cut all those little pictures out of the back side of the cardboard. And you can make a little tag out of this, or whatever you want. You can put it on in your journal, however you want. Then I had gotten these little cards from, I don't even remember where. So I just put them in there. Here's a piece of deckled edge paper. There's a manila envelope. Actually, it's a bubble envelope. So there's a little envelope. And this is a piece of sticky back foam. We're going to use this tonight. There's a stencil, and there's a flag napkin. Oops, there's 2 flag napkins in here. There's a floral napkin. There's some gold foil sheets. So there's gold foil. There's a piece of textured wallpaper. There's paper doilies. There's a piece of bubble wrap, which we'll use that. So then there's this paper. And so this is the patriotic master board. And this one is, I don't remember what I called this one, but it's flag with some daisies on it. And then this is my swan that hangs on the gate and my porch. So this is kind of a fun one. And oh, and then I forgot.
Well, this one isn't super new, is it? In my head, I'm thinking I have it. Oh, now I have it. So that I don't.
Nope, you don't have it. It would have shipped out today if you ordered it.
I'll order it.
You got to order the Back Porch collection. And then there's this sheet of scribble birds. So I scribbled these birds using my left hand. I'm right-handed, but I scribbled these birds out on a piece of paper and then I made a photocopy of them. And that also comes in this Back Porch collection. So that is everything that's in there. All kinds of sweet stuff in there.
See, this is cute. So much yummy stuff.
There is. It's so good. And then it all comes right inside this fun envelope. This is my demo pack. So just in case I forget what all has to go in there, I got to have a demo pack. And then it comes in this nice envelope. So I was shipping them like crazy today. They just released this morning and they are going like crazy. So there's a limited amount. So make sure you grab yours because there is a limited amount. All right. So we're going to dry this just a tad with my wimpy gun. Just because I don't want it to be wet. I don't want it to be too wet. It can be a little bit wet, but not too wet. We'll do a little DIY. So this paper was really fun to create. It's got so much fun stuff on it that I really didn't want to cover any of it up, but we can enhance the sides of it. Because it's super fun. And I painted the background, so I should be able to paint it again, right? You would think. So we have the two colors. Oops, they were on the right side. So this one is Carnival Red and this one is Blue Iris. And these come in the mixology kit. So that's why they're so small, because they come in that mixology kit. I use the crap out of this mixology kit. So the first one we're going to do is the blue stripe over here. And it's already painted with the vintage linen. But we're going to go ahead and grab some more vintage linen. Oh, I need my brush back. So, stuck it in the water. I got to read some questions here because I think there's some. So I think this is where I left off. Hello, people. I don't usually catch a live. Cool stuff. Thank you, Lisa. I'm glad that you're here. I ordered the Back Porch the second I saw it on Facebook. Thank you, Carolyn. It's really good. And Lisa says, hi, Connie and Wilson. So happy to be here. DIY. Lisa, DIY. All right. So Sheila Wilson read that question, and yeah, that just got released today. And then Luann says, even more excited now for my order. Excellent, Luann. Diana says, awesome back porch. Thank you, Diana. And Luann says, cute. The turned leg. Hello. How are you, Christina? It looks like so much good stuff. It is good stuff. And April says, are the papers you make exclusive for this or will they be sold separately? You can only get them in the back porch, April. So you have to order the back porch collection in order to get these 4 different papers that I've created. And Luann says, love the DIY blue. Me too. All right, so we're gonna go in. It's just damp. And the camera is backwards, so it looks like I'm doing the opposite side here. But so now I'm gonna take this vintage linen and I'm just going to sporadically put it on this side. And if I cover some of that paper up, I'm okay with that. I just want not liquid patina on it. So I want it to be the base of the dried paint. And now we're going to do the same over here on this side. Like I said, if I get some over top of the paper, it's really okay because what we're trying to do is mask that anyway. And right now, all I'm really trying to do is just cover up the liquid patina so that that main paint is nice and dry again. All right, that's the white. I'm not going to put that in my water again. So now we have the blue right here. So we're going to take the mister bottle and we're going to mist. And then I'm going to take the blue paint and put it in the water over here. So it's a little runnier, soupier. And then I'm going to fill in with some more stripes. And my stripes are pretty what do I want to call it? Irregular. And then I'm going to mist them so they run. And now we're going to do the same thing on the blue, on the red side. Oh, stretch. Okay. Carnival red. Put some on my plastic. Mist it. Mist that. So it's nice and runny. You don't have to be real picky on your stripes because we're misting them anyway. They're going to get big. Okay, they're running into each other just exactly the way I wanted it. And some of these areas I'm going to dab a little bit. And then mist. So what I'm doing is taking some of the paint off, but then getting rid of the hard edge. Like right here, it's really blending in there good. But this edge is too, it's too perfect for me. Okay. It's looking good already. Okay. Excellent. Now we're going to dry this just a touch, and then I'll read some comments. But I got to dry it way up on top because otherwise I'm going to push the paint. I'm going to push the water around. Hello. Happy DIY Wednesday. No, it's on a board. It's on a regular board. It could be on a canvas though. So now we have to get all of that moisture off of there. So this might be a little bit. We're going to keep adding to it. We're going to add some scribble birds. See how my heat gun is pushing that around? Because my other one blew up, Elaine. Started on fire. Started my chair on fire. So I got a wimpy one. I wanted it to not be so loud on camera.
Yeah, and she didn't want you to use it.
And I didn't want Wilson to use it, yeah. But I do miss my other one, so I might have to get my other one and just have two. We still have puddles because of my wimpy heat gun. We still have puddles. We'll take care of those puddles. Well, I didn't do it on camera. I did it when I was all by myself, thank goodness. I was actually filming for YouTube. And had my back to the fire, the smoke. It wasn't actually a fire. It was just smoke and stink. And I could smell something, and I'm like, what's that smell? I keep using my heat gun. What's that smell? And finally I turn around and there's sparks are coming out of my plug-in, and it's on a vinyl chair. So I turned it off. And then my Mac, my Apple computer was plugged into that same extension cord. Yeah, I quickly unplugged that. Wasn't good. So then I had to tell Wilson what I did. when he got home from work. I had to say, well, I might have had a little incident with the heat gun today. Let's see what we got here, guys. I don't know where I left off. Oh, this was April asking if they're exclusive. Yes, they are. They will not be sold separately. April says, good to know. Thanks. Judy says, hello, DIY. DIY, Judy. Thanks for joining. Joanna says, I just tuned in, so I'm lost as to what you're sending out. A back porch collection. So it's right here, Joanna, and it's filled with all kinds of mixed media stuff. So it's upside down. So it's full of all kinds of different stuff. And then it also has 3 rice papers in it and 1 scribble. Now I'm dumping it all over. 3 scribble birds in it, which I'm going to need those scribble birds. I'll show you the scribble birds. These scribble birds right here, I drew these with my left hand. And so that's included in there because those are just kind of fun. Then we have April says, I'd be interested in seeing what others create with the back porch package. If they post their products and highlight you, will those that follow you see this post? Ouch. Yeah, that's a great idea, April. We'll see. I'll when I put something out there, I'll see if anybody will show what they do with them. And we have Waste Not Upcycled is here. Sheila asked if it's on canvas. Elaine got that one. Lisa said, this is so fun. I love it. Thank you, Lisa. And then Kathy gave a smiling face. So, all right. So we're all caught up. Obviously, that's still a little wet. We're just going to dab it off of there. Because guess what? We're putting so many layers on here that it's not going to matter. We just needed that base. It's all about the base, about the base, about the base, right? So another thing that you get, and that this is, I'm so excited about this stuff, is it's a sticky back foam. And how you use it is you just cut it up however you want. And I have a piece of cardboard right here. And I'm going to use this sticky back foam. And I'm going to cut it into some shapes. And then I'm going to stick it on my cardboard. But I don't need my cardboard this big. I'm going to stick it on my cardboard. And you can be really particular with these shapes and cut them out intricately to get the correct shape, whatever shape that you want. Or you can just do like I do and just cut some shapes out and go with it. When I was at Royce's retreat, I cut out a bird cage and a bird and all kinds of other stuff. And I also cut out just some random squares. Well, let me tell you, my random squares is my favorite. I've used it over and over again. I'll show you. So this is a really fun design. And we're making our own stamp. you can make your own stamp. All right. Sticky back, and this is included in your package. My eyeball itches. Ouch. All right, so what I want to do is I want to put a little bit over here. So I'm going to take some of this red, carnival red that we have here, and I'm going to paint these. And then I'm going to stamp it, which then you're going to turn it in a bunch of different ways and get some of that stamp all over there. And then what you can do is wipe it off. And then we're going to use the blue. And we're going to do that same kind of stamp with the blue. All right, Sheila. So even where it's regular, the regular paper is, you can go and just add a few of these same fun elements to it. And now we just added some of those different shapes on there, all by just cutting that out. This is my square one that I made by Royce, and this is my favorite. So it's just a bunch of squares. And I now sell the Jelly Art jelly plates. And this works really good on your jelly plate. So you put it on your jelly plate and then you blot it off with that and you have this really cool pattern. Okay, so yeah, isn't that cool? I was so excited when I had that. That was my favorite thing that I learned. Now we're gonna dry that. Oh no, it wasn't my favorite. There was one other thing and I'm gonna show you what it is. Because I burned my end of my pinky on my heat gun. On my, not my heat gun. No, sorry. My glue gun over here. I got my glue gun plugged in. No, I didn't burn my pinky on my heat gun. But it does get that hot. Like I could burn it on here. DIY.
Patricia says hello, DIY.
Hello, Patricia.
That's a clever idea.
I know, right? Order your back porch collection and you can add some sticky back foam. I've been looking at the thrift store for this foam with the sticky back. And one day I thought I had it. Like I got a bunch of this craft foam, the kids craft foam. And it only cost me like 39 cents or something. I wasn't paying attention. It's not sticky back. So not going to do me a heck of a lot of good. So I gave it back to the thrift store. Are they reusable? Yes, they are. Like this one, Sheila, I've used it so many times. You can see there's so much paint in there. I've used that over and over again because it's my favorite. Okay. We're going to do something fun with those scribble birds. I'm going to put this to the side and dry a little bit more. And here's the scribble birds. And then here's a piece of deli paper. Then I'm going to take my glue gun. If I can I need some glasses. Then I'm going to take my glue gun. So fun, guys. And I like this birdie right here. So then I'm going to go around with my glue gun. And I got him all traced there. Now I'm going to flatten him. Isn't this cool? This is such fun stuff. And now my papers are glued together, but we gotta let that cool. Wilson, you can unplug that now. The white cord. Not the fancy heat gun. I need that. Be careful. It's got some glue oozing out of it. What is a jelly plate? Is someone asked. So a jelly plate, while that cools, a jelly plate is right here. This is a 5x7. And it looks like a Knox blocks. And it comes with 2 Mylar sheets, on one on front and one on back. And you put paint on here. Should we do one? Let's do one. We put paint on here. And then we take our brayer, our jelly plate brayer, and we're going to brayer that paint on there. And then I will take, you also get a piece of bubble wrap. So I'll take bubble wrap and push my bubble wrap in there. And I'm going to use that stamped image of my bubble wrap. Then I'm going to pull it off. Now I'm going to stick it on here. So I used it once from here. And now my jelly plate looks like this. Now we have to let this dry. Okay? So we're going to let that dry. Let's go back to this. We have a lot of stuff that's, oh, it's too stuck. Hang on, I need to do this over. That's okay. I still should have enough juice left. Okay, we're going to do this again. Maybe I'm not already. Maybe I just don't want to squish them that hard. Let's let them cool a little bit. I also maybe put it on wax paper. I can't remember. Because like here is one that I did. I made a flower and then I squished it. And this one, I made the cone flower and I squished it. That one's a little bit harder. But now I don't know if it'll come off here. Okay, fail again. I think you need a silicone mat. That's what I think you need. But anyway, so now this is a pretty cool image. We're still going to use it. I still have a plan. I'm not defeated. Can't defeat me that easy. Okay, one thing you do not want to do with your jelly plate is you do not want to use a heat gun. Because you will melt your jelly plate. And you will no longer have a jelly plate. So we have to let this dry. And then we're going to use white. We're not going to be that brave. We're going to use white. I'm not using red. Okay. So now I'm going to put some white on here. I'm going to roll that around. And then what we do is we take, you can take a piece of deli paper, or we're going to use a sheet from a book. And we're going to put it on top of there, just like that. And then you're supposed to let this dry. We're not going to. I'm going to pull it off. So here is our piece of paper that we just made. So we have a fun texture that you can use in your art journal. But now I'm not done yet. Let's grab the red. Where's my red girl? Let's grab the red and put some red on there. And then I'm going to take my bird that I'm not giving up on. So I pulled it off. That's what he looks like there. But now that image is still on there, along with some other little spots. So we're going to use that. But I got to let that dry. Using a jelly plate, like you could get stuck. You could go down a rabbit hole using a jelly plate. There's so much fun and so many fun textures. DIY. So I'm going to let this dry, but we're going to get back to our project we were working on. Because we already look, whoop, set it right on my jelly plate. We already look like it's blended right in, and you don't even know where the paper starts and ends here. So we've already accomplished that. But now those two edges are going to be gone. Now, is this completely dry? Yes. So now I'm going to grunge this up. You know I'm gonna. You know I'm gonna grunge it. So I have some weathered wood. And I'm going to put it down here on the edge. First, I'm gonna put a little water on there. I'm gonna put it down here on the edge. And then I'm gonna take my paint blade and I'm gonna blend it. And then if you want to blend it a little bit more, just squirt it with more water. See how we grunged that side out? Now we're going to grunge this edge. I'm using the paint blade. Okay, right here's too much a defined line, so I wet it and pull some of it away. Cool, huh? All right. Going down here on this edge. All right, got too much of a defined edge down here. We just scrubbed some of it away. And then if there's some left on your paint spatula, you can just put it into the rest of it. And one more corner to do. That got a little heavy up there, so we're gonna pull some of that back. It's looking cool, guys. I love it. And now, I think I'm gonna leave it because I really like it. Let's go back to this jelly plate before I let you go tonight. Let's go back to this jelly plate. And we have that bird on there. So we're gonna do, and she's all dried on there. Hey Donna, DIY. I'm gonna put some white on here. Now remember that hopefully red is tough color. I already see I got pink, but we'll see what we end up with. What am I gonna put that on? Let's just put it on a deli sheet. Can you say how you got the bird off again? I had it on I didn't get the bird off. He's still on his little deli sheet here. I just used him as a stamp on top of the jelly plate. So he's still on there. I think we used a silicone mat or we used wax paper. And now here is the little birdie. You need a white piece of paper. Here's the little birdie made with hot glue. Now we could put him into our mixed media. And here's the other sheet. You could put these two together. You could take him and put him on top of there. That would be fun. Or you can put him on there. All kinds of different options. But yeah, that bird is really fun to do, but he was made with hot glue. And it works. Yay, I'm so excited. All right, I haven't read comments for a while. April says, hi from Phoenix. This is an excellent technique. Thank you, April. Sheila ordered the Back Porch collection. Thank you so much. Patricia, hello, DIY. Elaine thinks it's a clever idea. Are they reusable? Yep, everything's reusable. Like these, when these hot glue things come off your wax paper, it was either wax paper or freezer paper, but it'll come right off. Just obviously not a deli sheet. Then you can reuse these over and over again. Like I've used them a ton. And Luann says, cool. Lisa, what's the jelly plate? We just showed that. Sheila said, what the what? Diana said, can you say how you got that bird off again? So, yep, that's how I did it. Wilson read Donna's. Lisa said, that's amazing. Thanks for the tutorial. You're very welcome. Diana gave a thumbs up. Dawn says, love your creativity. Elaine says, my goodness, so much going on. I will have to watch the live again. Lots of fun ideas. Yeah, I was all over the place there, Elaine. Gail says, ordering for the niece. Excellent. Yeah, that's a jelly plate. So now if I wanted to get this all clean, all I have to do is put a liquid matte gel medium or like a liquid patina on here. And then put a piece of deli sheet on there and it'll peel all of that paint right off and you'll have a fun texture paper. So you can make all kinds of papers with the jelly plate. It is so addicting and so much fun. But this little guy is really, really cute. Isn't he just unique and cute? I still think he would go on here. Let's look at him once. He's a little on the wet side, so I gotta be careful. So I'm just tearing him. Whoop. I should let him dry. And he could probably sit on here or down here. And he's going to like blend right in there. He could even go up here. It's kind of washed out for you guys. But he's pretty cool. I like him. All right, let's push this one back. Excellent. So this is our master board from the Back Porch collection. It's all on one board. And we made those backgrounds blend together and then kind of grunged it up a little bit. So it's got all them fun elements in it, and that just a bunch of different little techniques for you. Luann says, when I watch on DIY Wednesdays, I then want to stay up all night creating. I'm sorry, but you need to go to bed. All right. That's all for now, guys. Thanks for watching. I will be back next week, and I don't know what we'll do. I never know until that night. So thanks for watching. Until next time, happy painting.